Hello, and welcome to the new features available in VelPAK 2015, Feature Pack 2. Here we can see the new 3D visualization module. The 3D surface viewer has been significantly upgraded to allow the display of multiple surfaces, wells and profiles in a more interactive environment. It becomes much easier to validate the depth conversion against wells and other surfaces, and to visualize how velocity fields vary prior to generating volumes for a more efficient, quality-controlled workflow. This feature enables surfaces and profiles to be displayed in the VelPAK model. Anything that is in the profile display can also be viewed in the 3D viewer. As you can see, the inline and crossline profiles are displayed here using our high-def profile overlay. It should be noted that the viewer doesn't display seismic volumes. For a full volume display, we would recommend the use of VelPAK. On a technical level, it can also be noted that the new 3D viewer requires a graphics card that supports OpenGL 2.1 or later. Now we'll look at the changes to the surface module and the improved display and handling of surveys. If we now look at the Profile tab in the model tree, we can see that lines with no interpretation no longer populate the Profile section of the model tree for faster navigation to data that matters. The surface display flyout now allows the selection of inlines and crosslines, and we can see that we can change it from say 50 to 100 and click Apply to update the display. This gives us independent control of inline and crossline spacing for clearer displays. Here we've added new icons. This icon enables us to invert the selected wells and toggle them on or off. Here we are able to invert the selected lines, and we can either invert them again or we can use the deselect lines to perform a similar operation. These icons have been implemented into the software for more efficient workflow and visualization. The import of stacking velocities has now been revised, with velocities from multiple 2D lines now being able to be imported in one go, saving the user from making multiple passes with the import dialog. Decimation is now simplified, specified by the user as a single value for real-world spacing on the surface and millisecond sampling vertically. This makes the dialog easier to understand and also prevents accidental biasing of the data between surveys with different trace spacing. We have improved the selection and filtering of wells on the optimize and curve data grids. For more control over which well is utilized in the model, particularly with projects that have many wells, the optimize and curve data table filters are now cumulative. Here I'm able to turn off the fit or residual error values for certain wells. There is a new right mouse button menu to allow fast resetting of all the filters applied and to force the data table to be rebuilt from the model. Here I can select Reset Fit to reset the fit column, or alternatively Reset Residual to reset the residual column. To reset both the fit and residual columns at the same time, I can press the Reset button, and as you can see, it'll default back to the standard setting. Next, we'll take a look at the well display module. The grid titles are now displayed on the well display. If the grid label is empty, None, or auto-generated Express, then the posted label is taken from the surface name. Otherwise, the user-defined grid label is posted. For a better understanding of the well layer properties, there is now a Summary Data Table tab in the well display. As usual, the table can be copy-pasted into Excel, etc. The data table has been added so that users can quickly find the pertinent information in tabular form, rather than having to look up the data manually. This has been implemented for user convenience, so they can get to the relevant data quickly. The last of our Feature Pack 2 enhancements is the new Optimize workflow. Optimize calculates the best fit to the data and the best residual. Previously, when one parameter is fixed, e.g. fixed k contour v0, the only values available were the best residual. Now, as a result of the customer request, the user is able to fix one parameter and contour the other on the basis of best fit. As you can see, through working through the workflows tree, we're able to simply drag and drop the v0kz fix k workflow onto the canvas accordingly. That concludes the VelPAK Feature Pack 2 enhancements. In summary, we've implemented the 3D module. The surface module now contains the inlines and crosslines. The import dialog now has the surface spacing and vertical sampling. The optimized data table has the right-click facility to reset the fit, the residual, or reset the entire data table. In the well module, the grid titles are given, as well as the data table itself. And finally, we've implemented the V0KZ FixK workflow. We will now look at the VelPAK 2 updates to the Kingdom Seismic Inversion module. And this is loaded, as usual, from the Project Seismic Inversion tab. In this section, we'll look at the updates to coloured inversion, and we'll just check that that's selected in the Inversion Types tab. First of all, we'll open up a sonic and velocity log, and then a density log, followed by a time depth chart. Once these are loaded, we just need to add the seismic amplitudes from the model tree accordingly. In terms of the Impedance Log Spectral Analysis tab, there are no changes in this latest update. You choose the log from the window from the dial on the right hand side as before. There have been some changes in the source code to make the spectral calculation more robust, but most of these internal changes are invisible to the user and they don't need to really worry about them. However, the module has been made easier to use by removing two parameters, SpecFlag1 and mixed width. Now the users only need to change PAP-B width, which is defaulted to be 4. As you can see, I've altered a few of the parameters here, and I'm just changing the window for seismic end time. The module has been made more reliable when selecting a seismic window for spectral calculation. The users are always advised to choose a window corresponding to the target area. In this latest update, we've added a new time window for phase estimation, with the phase shift estimation part being redesigned using a new algorithm which gives a much more accurate phase value than the previous version. There has also been a change to the window dial, where users are able to edit the end time and the start time, which updates on the graphical display with the red and orange bars, as you can see. While the two parameters phase shift and phase shift auto remain unchanged, we have added another parameter, phase of data, for information only. So as soon as phase shift is estimated or typed in, this value will translate to a phase value of seismic data, which is more understandable to the users. Next, I'll open up the Logs and Seismic window, and here I'll zoom into the display. The log filtering algorithm has been updated, so there will be no edge effects on the beginning and the end of the filtered log, which in turn improves the phase estimation. We would then apply to volume, and there is no change to this window in this release. To conclude the enhancements for VelPAK 2 for Kingdom Seismic Inversion, I'll just open the SA Inversion module. The major updates in this SA release are for spatial smoothing and for CPU task distribution, which have resulted in no changes in the interfaces. Many job parameter bounds in the property grid have been relaxed, so they are suitable for project areas with different geological models and different seismic resolutions. That concludes the VelPAK 2 enhancements for Kingdom Seismic Inversion. Thank you very much for watching.